It is the RIOT podcast, the Monday, January 2nd, 2023 edition.
Hopefully everybody had a wonderful holiday and enjoyed Christmas and New Year's and every football game in between.
Yeah, that's all it was, right?
Yeah, I think that was everything.
It was just Christmas, New Year's, and football.
Yep.
A few movies sprouted in there.
A few naps here and there.
A lot of naps, a lot of sleeping in.
Some organizing, some cleaning out.
Wow, I don't know about that.
You would think, too, like, for me coming back today, like, my house is a disaster right now. And it should be so clean. It was so clean last week. But after this weekend, I know that my house is a disaster right now. And I know that I'm going to have to go home today and clean it.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part.
You guys want to hear something bad?
What?
I got back from Connecticut the middle of last week, right? The suitcases have not been put away.
Oh, no.
Now, do you say it in this podcast? Is it a break that's in this, or do you want to unveil why you didn't do anything during
It's not
Christmas?
in the video version, but for those watching the video podcast, I got COVID.
For the very first time.
Yeah, for the first time on Christmas Eve. Yeah. And so that now, I want to be clear, though, that didn't make me sick from Christmas Eve all the way until yesterday. I was not sick for most of the time. I had about a 24-hour period where I was truly sick.
Yeah.
But so we get back from Connecticut, get back from our trip, and yet somehow I still had a hard time finding motivation to get anything actually productive done.
Well, it's hard when you're sick. Like you really were sick, and then you're traveling. That's even worse.
Yeah, that's right. But nevertheless, the suitcases, I put the stuff in the suitcases away.
Yeah.
I did the laundry. I feel like that's a start. But the suitcases themselves are just sitting in my living room.
Oh, that's not as bad then.
You don't think that's as bad? That's such a simple step, though, that I could just take them down to the garage where they belong.
But it's easy, though. At least you'll be able to knock that out really quickly. I assumed all your clothes were still in there.
You would think I'd be able to knock it out, but then why haven't I done it in the past, 4 days?
You're recovering, and now you're back at work.
Now you're starting to do real stuff again.
Now I'm too busy to be able to take them and put them in the garage.
Oh, does that mean you flew with COVID? Oh, no.
I was not contagious at that point.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because that's why no matter what you're doing, if you're flying anywhere, you get sick after.
Yeah, every single time.
You know what? A lot of people weren't able to fly this past week anyways.
Oh, yeah, with the Southwest stuff. Yeah.
They would have been happy to get COVID on the plane.
If you could just get on a plane.
If they could just get home.
They could just get home and get back.
Bad.
Yeah.
So between the three of them, Christmas, New Year's, and football, which one was your favorite?
Or COVID.
Or COVID. Could be COVID.
Well, I think obviously it was football for me. Because
football?
It turned out
better
so
than
well.
Christmas and New Year's?
The best Christmas present I got is that the Packers won on Christmas Day, and every other team around them has lost. So the Packers now just need to win against the Lions at home on Sunday, which they should easily be able to do. It's the Lions. And they're going to be in the plaplayoffs.
First off, the Lions say, could you not?
I know.
Yeah.
Be a bit more supportive.
No, they're like, yeah, it's true.
Oh, that's true.
They're like, yeah, accurate.
They're not a rebuilding season sort of team. They're just a rebuilding team.
Life. Yeah.
Forever. Well, I'm glad everybody, we made it back, and we did a show, and
we made it through.
Well, what was the best for you?
For me, I think my favorite, obviously was not football.
Yeah,
needless to say. It could have been. It was so close. It was so close to being football. But no, probably New Year's. I had a really good time. The combination of the Ohio State game with all my friends and whatnot, that was really exciting up until midnight. And then I had a brief 30-minute period after Ohio State lost where I was really sad. And then I started having fun again with my friends. But there was a period there where it really stunk. But the rest of it was really good.
You know what you can do sometimes when you get sad like that? Pick up your place.
Yes. Pick up your place.
You can clean it up and put suitcases away.
Just clean up.
That's right.
Cleaning up.
What was best for you, Nikki? Christmas, New Year's, or football?
I'm not going to go into all of it. My Christmas was awful, and New Year's was basically only just the game, and I loved the TCU game. I loved it. It was so much fun, and then the Buckeye one was a bit sad. So probably just that, but I'm ready for, ready to get back into the swing of things.
You know what's crazy? None of us really chose Christmas.
Yeah, none of us did.
And so it really helps my argument that July 4th is better than Christmas.
Hey, Old
it wasn't
Nick-
even your favorite holiday
Listen.
the week of Christmas. It
Old
wasn't your
New
favorite
Year.
thing.
It's
would
'cause
have thought that, but new Nikki says, well, maybe you're right.
Yes, thank you.
I think
so
New
bad.
Year's was just so great with Ohio
Yeah.
State playing.
Just-
Outside of the loss.
Just wait till July 4th.
Oh, I can't wait. Start looking forward to it now because it's the next best thing that's going to happen. We have nothing between now and July to look forward to.
That's right.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. We do hope that you had a wonderful whatever you had during that time that you had off, or whichever holiday was your favorite of it. So definitely text us and say hi and reconnect as we're ready for this new year. You can text 877 to Radio U and enjoy the podcast.
And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
See you guys.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
The new year.
Aw.
Same old riot.
Guys, what happened at Christmas?
Was that recently? Or?
Well, it feels like it was forever ago.
It does. How did you handle? We had a lot of time off.
Well-
Did you go anywhere, or did you stay around?
No, we stayed home. It feels like we had a lot of time off, but like it was just a week. And I mean,
That's a long time.
I know, but when I got up this morning, I felt like I've been gone for a month or two.
Yeah, this feels like a totally different world that
Yeah.
we're walking back into that we're very unfamiliar with.
And there's still Christmas stuff up.
Yeah.
And it's hot in here.
So that means we have one more thing to add to our schedule today.
we got to take those down.
But how does like if you didn't go anywhere, like did you have trouble filling your time over
You
the
know-
like with your week off?
Well, thanks to everybody else, there's plenty to do. I was still very busy, but it was nice to have the time off.
I found
I didn't feel bored. Let me just say that.
I was quite the opposite. I found that when I see, it's like sometimes you see an old fella and he's still whatever his job is, like you see him and he's still like
Shuffling
working
around.
at Home Depot or whatever, and you're like, why does he still have to work? And that's going to be me. It's because he would go insane just sitting there. And so for me, 60 years from now, people are going to be here at Radio U begging me to retire. They're going to be saying, Hudson, please go. You're too
But you
old to be doing
can't.
this. You need to go home and
you
rest.
need stuff to do.
And yes, and I'm going to need stuff to do, and I'm going to need to talk, and I'm going to have opinions I need to share, and you're going to have to like put me in an Applebee's bathroom with headphones. I won't know any better.
You're going to
And
have the.
That's what you're going to have to do with me.
Listen, I won't be here if we're talking like that old. And then second,
Oh,
you
you're
can have.
passing this problem off
I'm
to the
gonna
next
pass
generation.
it on to the next person, to the next Nikki. I think you'll have like the Hudson Old Person podcast can't retire.
Yeah.
And we can't fire you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, it'd be mean to fire him. He's 85
Well,
years old.
Well, you're supposed to retire on your own.
And when it's your own choice. And for me, what I will do, I will retire and then I'll instantly regret it. It will
Yeah.
take me because I was gone for
no.
a week.
No,
and
no, I know what
it didn't
you'll
even
do.
take me a week to be upset. So.
Then you'll volunteer.
Oh, I don't know if I have that in me.
We'll be like, please don't volunteer. We don't need any help.
Yeah, I'll be doing pro bono.
Yeah,
a free
he
podcast.
insists. Well, we
Yeah.
missed you guys so much. I mean, obviously, we have the whole morning to get caught up. So feel free to text at 877 to Radio U and tell us how your Christmas and New Year's went.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you and see what if you got any good presents or anything and have any New Year's resolutions.
Yeah,
we want to
lots
hear
to
about all of it.
My gosh, a lot to catch
Yeah,
up on.
just one show to do it.
Oh, no.
This is Radio U's worst of the riot.
Football headlines.
Oh, there was some good stuff.
What a wild weekend. I think I say that every time we do the football headlines. And then Isaiah's like, well, it was okay. It was
What
an
do you
okay
think?
weekend.
Was
I think it was
good?
okay.
No, stop
I think college football was really good. I think as of late, the NFL has just been okay.
No, that's just because you're eliminated. And so here, let's start with college. It was definitely the more exciting weekend for college football for sure. Horned Frogs hold off Michigan to advance to see it. I can't even say the headline right. To college football playoff championship.
Dude, that might be one of my most favorite games I've watched.
It was it?
It was crazy.
It was crazy how, what was the final score? 51-45?
Yeah, I think
It
so.
was a one-score game. High scoring is all get out. And yet, I don't know if you guys felt the same way, that like at a certain point, fairly early on in the game, it's like Michigan's got no chance, right? They're not going to be able to come back. I know they did make it close, but I didn't really feel like TCU was in much danger for most of the game.
But I guess going into it, I didn't think they had it. I thought Michigan was going to do better. So
I thought they were too.
Yeah, so I just thought it was a really like back and forth game.
I don't remember what we said when we talked about the college football playoff championship games way back last Friday, like over a week ago when we previewed it. But I felt going into this game, I thought if there's going to be an upset, it would be TCU over Michigan. So,
well, I'm for TCU now, so I want them to.
Yeah.
I would love
everybody
them to win
is,
the whole
right?
thing.
Everybody's a TCU fan.
And suddenly we are.
So that was an exciting game. Isaiah, have anything to add?
I think it was just an exciting game. I was just shocked because everyone was counting TCU out.
Yeah.
They assumed Michigan were going to win, and Michigan just couldn't pull it out. I mean, they looked not nearly as good as they did against Ohio State.
Yeah, that's for sure. They did kind of crap the bed in their big moment.
What a lovely saying.
Okay. Also, Georgia caps off comeback as the ball drops.
Oh, that was horrible.
Did you have the ball dropping on, or did you have Ohio State dropping the ball in the final moments?
Oh, we watched that one.
When the clock struck midnight.
Yeah, I got to say, the Buckeyes did way better than I thought. It was a much higher scoring game than I thought. I thought they looked better than the games that they won a lot of during the season.
Yeah.
And it's forgiven for the guy who missed the kick. It's happened. It's all right. It is what it is. But it was a good game, too.
Yeah, it was a great game for sure. I mean, Ohio State played awesome. C.J. Stroud played great. It's just one of those where it's either a make or a miss, and he missed it, and it is what it is.
I really wanted to see them play TCU. I thought that'd be an amazing game.
I know. I thought for sure we kind of had it in the palm of our hand, but at the end of the game, some things didn't go our way, and we didn't make the plays that we needed to make.
You sound like the coach right now.
That's how it is.
Get in the game, guys. Get in the game.
It sounds like you don't want to blame any individual person or anything.
Well, I mean,
we all went out there. We played our best. We really tried. We thought we had a good game plan, but at the end of the day, the buck stops here.
I mean, I'm a Bucks homer. I mean, I could make a million excuses for the team, but at the end of the day,
it was also hard because it seemed like for all the teams, there was a lot of injured players.
Yeah.
And I think that made it hard. And a lot of people were mad because the game did cross right over midnight.
Yeah.
And they thought it should have ended sooner.
That was questionable. I don't know. It was weird because to me, even though I'm an Ohio State hater, I felt like they were the better team. Georgia should not have won the game.
And Georgia shouldn't have, I thought the Buckeyes were going to do way worse.
Yeah, right.
Everyone thought we were going to get blown out. And even after the game, like Kirby Smart, Georgia's head coach, said in his interview, he said Ohio State probably should have won the game.
Yeah. Well, they didn't. Okay.
So now we have TCU and Georgia Monday.
That's like a week from tonight.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's talk NFL real quick. Packers pound Vikings to take control of playoff destiny.
Well, good for the Packers.
Good for the Packers.
Your team.
That was quite a showing. And now, thanks to the Cleveland Browns, which
You're welcome.
I texted Isaiah yesterday.
Because they lost.
Yeah.
No, the Browns won.
They did?
They beat the Commanders.
Yeah, we beat the Commanders.
Which is exactly what Green Bay needed. Now the Commanders are eliminated. And so Green Bay, if they beat the Lions this coming Sunday, they will be in the playoffs, which a lot of people didn't believe when we had a 1% chance to make the playoffs. But you know who did believe?
You did?
Me and Aaron Rodgers.
You never took your hat off.
Yep, we never gave up, and now it looks like we got a real good chance to get into the playoffs. And once we get into the playoffs, who knows what can happen?
But the Browns are out, you said?
The Browns are long
Even though
gone.
They won.
But kudos to them for still playing hard.
You know what?
Really
we still got the win.
Yeah. Well, those are your football headlines. You have any addendums? Any?
I can't believe the Vikings played so bad, but at the same time, I am never surprised when the Vikings blow somebody out or get blown out.
Yeah, the Vikings are a trash team.
And the reason Isaiah's voice is going is because it was a good weekend of football.
Because it was so grand until Ohio State lost.
It is the Riot.
Almost won.
Almost
Say it
won.
like that.
This is the Riot. Radio U.
Isaiah, you're still single, right?
We were only off for a week.
I know, right? How quickly would that have changed?
What can happen? But if that changed, then that's an amazing resolution.
He just because we only went without seeing him for a week, but he doesn't have to tell us everything.
That's
I
true.
don't.
Maybe you
That's
have
true.
I'm working
you've
in
been
silence.
seeing a gal this whole time and we didn't know about. But no, okay, if you're single, then it makes sense that you smell worse.
There's no way I smell bad.
You
I
do-
got so much cologne for Christmas. There's no way.
But that's just because you have to cover up.
Oh, true. That could make sense.
This is not, I'm not just giving you a hard time. This is hard science right here. This is some new research from Australia's Macquarie University, where what they found was single men smell worse or smell stronger than men who are married or, like in relationships. And how they found this was they gave several men like a plain white T-shirt. They had to wear it for 24 hours. And then they took those T-shirts, presented them to women, and had women rate the smell of the shirts. And they found that women found the single men's shirts to be much stronger smelling of like BO in the armpit region.
So you're not saying like they're just spraying a lot of cologne and they have just more of that smell.
No, they're saying
stink?
they have more of the BO smell. Okay, so that sounds bad, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
That sounds like
Sounds not in your favor.
It sounds bad.
And yet somehow single men eventually, many of them wind up becoming not single anymore.
I don't know. I'm not 100% behind this. I don't think.
You don't think you don't? Well, let me present for everybody what happened. What they believe is that when you're single, your body is putting out, and this is why it's good news that you actually smell bad. Is that your body when you're single
is desperate?
Yes, your body is more desperate than you might even be, and so it's putting out additional pheromones, like making your BO smell worse, because that is that is actually naturally.
No,
like a wild animal would.
Don't listen
that's
to this.
right.
This isn't true.
You don't believe it? It's
I
science.
kinda do.
It's science.
I don't know.
I think it makes sense, like with the whole like wild animal thing, because obviously the wild animals put out pheromones, and then the lady animals can find
That's
them.
how they know. Yeah,
Like that would make sense.
lady animals.
The lady animals, the female animals can then find the single male animals, and that does make sense.
And they don't have to waste their time with the married
male animals.
the married deer or whatever in this
I think
scenario.
it's probably just a hard study because I feel like, as a lady, that usually when you're with someone for so long, you're so used to their smell and that smell becomes comforting. But that smell could still stink to someone who's not, that smell.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if you're studying, that's why, we want your hoodies and your stuff and your shirts because it smells like you. But to the, another person, you might, that person stinks because that's not something that's comforting to them.
But maybe you're still, even though, like, now that I'm married, I make less of a stinky smell with my, naturally. But my wife would still be attuned to it because she's used to it.
Yeah.
So she's going to pick up on the lower levels of that more than some random woman.
Or you just have a lady in your life who's telling you to shower and
Yeah, that's right.
Put cologne
put
on.
cologne on a little bit more often.
When I do go back that was one thing I was going back to is I definitely took better care of my smell when I was single. I was much more like I got to shower so much and put on like different, cologne like Isaiah does. I was way more into that because that was all I had to offer then. I was like, at least
If I don't have a good smell,
then
who
I've got
knows?
nothing else going for me.
Yep.
Well, I think everybody's different, so don't panic if you're thinking you're stinking.
Yeah.
Probably not. You're fine.
I'm just glad that we're comparing single men and like married men instead of like females and males, because the females in general smell probably like 30 times better than men do overall. It's an insane
Single
difference.
or otherwise.
So just if it's a woman versus a man, girls smell so much better than guys do. It's actually insane.
I think they do, except when just some of the perfume just smells bad. Though.
Well, then you don't like
Can we
that
agree
smell.
on that?
I don't know. I think it's amazing. I think it all smells good.
He's not
I
going
don't
to
know.
agree with you because he's still trying to attract
Yes,
one.
exactly.
Stop it.
Hudson, if you think your wife smells bad, just tell her. I don't know what you want me to say.
That's your thing.
Yeah.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
It's that time of year where it might be time to end things.
It's like the first main day of the year. What do you mean? It's that time
We
of
just
year?
started
That
things.
time of year.
We just started.
I could start everything we ever say. I could just start. It's that time of year.
For the next week, it is.
It's that time of year. It is time to start thinking if you want your relationship to continue up to Valentine's Day or not.
Oh,
And if you don't,
sure.
if you don't want to spend Valentine's Day with this relationship, you need to end it now.
Even though
The
I'm
sooner the
surprised
better.
you would have made it through the holidays. Like, why bother through
Well,
Christmas?
Nikki, we talked about a lot of winter dating trends in the past month or two. And one of them involves like pairing up for the holidays, and then what was that called, Isaiah?
Snow globing.
Snow globing,
and then deep airing for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's right. It was snow globing. You get together with somebody shortly before the holidays. The holidays is a whirlwind. It stirs up all of the emotion because you're doing Christmassy stuff. You're having a good time. A lot of steps might take place too quickly, which we addressed. That you don't want that. And then, but then once the New Year's hits, then everything kind of comes crashing down.
You hate each other.
Yeah, right. Once all the, the fun Christmas cute stuff is out of the way, now you just have to spend time with each other, and maybe that's not as fun as you thought. So let's start this now. Let's get this done and over with now. If you're going to make a breakup for before Valentine's Day, I've got the tips for how to have the best breakup possible.
All right, guys, hang on. They're getting stuff to write this down.
Yeah. All right.
Or we can send you the article.
Tip number 1, be sure of your decision.
That's good.
You can't be wishy-washy or waffling up to the breakup where you're like, hey, I'm not sure about this, but I think we want to break up. You don't want to say that. You need to be definite, right? Any pushback?
No, I agree with that one.
Yeah.
All right. So, and that's a hard thing to do, though, to be really sure.
But don't have that conversation with her until you're ready.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. That's a conversation you have with yourself.
In your head.
Uh-huh.
Many a times.
Don't just have it once in a fit of rage. Have it a couple times when you're at different emotional states. Is this really what you want to do? You want to break up? All right, then move on to step 2. Approach the situation with compassion.
That's a good way to put that.
That's nice, right? You got to remember that this is a person that you at least cared about in some way at some point. So they still have feelings. You still, even though you're done with them, that doesn't mean they'll be done with you. You gotta, you gotta be compassionate. Think about how they're feeling and gonna feel as well.
Now, no offense, but we're only on step 2, and I'm tired already.
I know.
This is exhausting.
This is why so many people stay in relationships they're not happy in.
It's why they ghost each other and you just break up that way. This is why. This is too many steps to make it healthy.
It's never easy to end a relationship.
Oh, and number 4, when you get to that, is a lie.
What?
You're not doing that.
Number 3 is always end the relationship in person.
That's
don't
good.
Ghost people like Nikki just suggested.
No, it just means don't text them that. Just do it in person.
Don't text them. Don't do it over the phone. Get together with them, even though I feel that raises the other person's hopes. Because usually when the breakup's coming, you can feel it, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, if they're feeling like, oh, things aren't going so well, and then you're like, hey, you want to get together? And they're like, yes, this is another chance. And then it all comes crashing down. But it is still the right thing to do it in person.
Oh, wait, I read 4 wrong. 4 is right. You're fine. I read it as keep in contact.
No, 4 is don't try to remain in contact.
No, that's right. You don't want to talk to him again.
Yeah. Isaiah, in the past, has thought differently on that.
I didn't think differently on that. I just said that you can still be cool. It doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Well, it depends on just layers, because social media changes it. If we're talking do you still follow each other, or are you texting each other every day? There's a difference between that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think in most cases, the more you can sever contact with the person you're breaking up with or that broke up with you, the better you will be.
Like with a sword, so you're just hurt.
Yeah. And then finally, number 5. Take space to heal and move forward. Because even if you're the one doing the breaking up, that's still a lot of your life that you spent with this person. And so you need to kind of reconcile that too and move along and be healthy for your next relationship.
So are they saying what time this month you're supposed to do this? Because if you don't want to be together for Valentine's, you can't do this into February.
Nikki, what must be done eventually must be done immediately.
Well, yeah.
No, we're not doing it today.
Today.
Not today.
We just had a great night 2 nights ago for New Year's.
You kissed.
You gotta wait a week and a half.
Well, that's why I wasn't sure. Are we waiting for the weekend?
Next
or what
week.
Are we doing?
Next week.
I don't know. I mean, you just whenever you're sure.
Yeah.
Again, you don't want to string the person along, right?
I agree, and also don't break up on the weekend. Could you do it on a Monday or a Tuesday? So then
we're running out of times to break up. You got to think about it first.
The weekend with friends.
You don't want to do it too close to a holiday.
That's how you heal.
Not on a weekend. You're making it hard to break up here, Nikki.
Which is why we ghost each other.
The Riot Radio U.
We were talking a few minutes ago about certain fields that men do not choose to get into, or I guess, when men are boys and they're choosing their careers, they don't choose certain careers to get into. One of the major ones is nursing. And it led us to talking to Isaiah if he could get into nursing. He says he couldn't do it because he can't get his own blood drawn. Forget about taking blood, doing needle stuff with other people.
So you never had a surgery when you were younger, or never had your blood drawn?
I've never really had like a serious injury. Like I've never broken a bone. I've never been like really sick. I've never had like a surgery. I would say overall.
Or a physical?
I had a physical, but the last time I had a physical was like 5 years ago.
What was the last time you actually went to a doctor?
Probably like I think the last time I went to the doctor was probably like my freshman year of high school, so maybe like 8 years ago.
And that's because we're going to teledocs and like the Minute Clinic, so that's why.
So Nikki, you actually go and get like a physical and everything.
Well, we're supposed to.
You're healthy, right?
You get one physical a year. So like you're supposed to go once a year, and like they just do whatever. They take your blood and they just check your stuff out.
You get
it with insurance.
You're acting like you get it.
You do. You get
like
one a year.
Like it's something for me.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
I haven't gone.
Use
and
it.
you're also using words like supposed to, but I haven't gone and ever gotten a physical since I've been like an adult.
That's what I was wondering. When was the last time you went to the doctor?
It's been, I know I was an adult. So, like,
Okay, here's the better question. Do you have a doctor?
No.
Yeah, that's the bigger question. Isaiah, do you have a doctor?
I don't have a doctor
You don't have a doctor. Okay, no wonder you're not going then once a year.
I have nowhere to go.
Well, yeah, I know you say words like supposed to, though, and it's been years.
I went and got
men.
I went and got tested for strep throat at CVS. Does that count?
No, that doesn't count.
Didn't know for sure if that counted. I didn't have it either. Yet again.
Waste of time. Waste of money.
Waste of time.
Oh my gosh.
For me.
That's why. This answers many questions.
Now, the last time I went to the doctor, and this might explain a lot, is I went because I was experiencing shoulder pain.
Yeah.
And so I went to this doctor. This is when I was an adult, but I still live with my parents. And I went to my parents' doctor. It wasn't the normal doctor I normally go to. And I had shoulder pain, and the lady wanted to check me for this doctor wanted to check me for a hernia.
Yeah.
And like I had, stripped down and whatever.
Hang on.
Exactly why we don't go.
That's why
it's intimidating.
Yes.
Scary.
And I had a friend who said he had the exact same issue at the same doctor.
Oh my gosh.
And
there you go.
It was the doctor's fault. And actually, my family, after that, they're like, yeah, actually, we don't like that doctor either. I was like, well, why? I guess that's what happens when you let somebody else set up doctor appointments for you.
All right, well, one more question. This is for everybody listening as well. Did anybody else have, just not go to the doctor as much when you were younger and have your pediatrician be your doctor till you were 18? And then just remember, there'd be baby stuff there.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like a 17-year-old who has
Highlights magazine.
Yes. Who had not found a grown-up doctor yet when you were supposed to.
I definitely. Actually, here's what I don't know. I don't know if my family doctor that was the doctor I saw growing up, I don't know if he was a pediatrician or if he was a grown-up doctor.
I think with family doctors, they're probably more... No, not the other way. Not the other way.
I don't know. We were out in the country. He was probably actually a vet.
Oh, he could have been. He was a massage therapist, but they said he had some sort of certification.
Well, I just remember being older, and it was like, why am I going here? Why can't I go to a doctor that's not, the highlights? That's totally what
Well,
it
you're
was.
still a child.
Well, I guess.
So it's accurate.
You felt too old.
They just, maybe they assume once you turn 14 or whatever, if you don't have a reason to, you're avoiding the doctor.
But that was still when my mom would lie to me and not tell me we were going to the doctor.
The doctor. You get in the car, you're like, where are we going?
Wait, another one, your mom would lie to you?
Oh, yeah.
Did your mom do that?
I don't, yet again, I don't even remember going to the doctor. I don't remember. I think I've met my family doctor one time.
That was it.
And that's the only time I remember, which was my freshman year of high school.
Why don't we work on this year, since we have a new year, why don't we work on finding a real doctor if you need one?
But we've been doing so good without them.
I know. We've been hot dogging now for a while.
I just feel like the teledocs is only going to last so long.
It's going to be too late at some point. We're going to actually really need a doctor, and we won't have one. and then we'll be panicked.
Well, thankfully, CVS is still open, so that's where I
but
went.
Chris, who last time he went to the Minute Clinic, it took him 3 hours.
Well, that's not a minute.
No,
That's
it's
not a minute. I think they were lying.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.